Hi, I am Ayaz Khan and I'm answering interview practice question from task 5.7. The first question is, what does CRISP-DM methodology for data mining entail? What does the data analyst do in each step? The CRISP-DM, which is the acronym for the cross-industry standard process for the data mining. This methodology consists of 6 steps. Business understanding, number 1. In this step, data analysts work with the stakeholders to define project objectives and requirement. The second is data understanding. In this step, data analysts gather and explore the data to understand its quality and characteristics. The third is data preparation. Data analysts clean and transform and pre-process the data for the modeling. The fourth step is modeling. In this step, data analysts build and evaluate predictive or descriptive models using various techniques. The fifth step is evaluation. Analysts assess model performance and refine it as needed. The sixth step is deployment. In this step, data analysts deploy the model into a production environment and monitor its performances. Throughout these steps, data analysts use domain knowledge and statistical tools and machine learning techniques to extract valuable insight from data. The next question is, explain what need to be done before you can forecast time series. In other words, what does time series analysis involve? The time series analysis is a descriptive process that help organization to understand the underlying cause of trends or systematic patterns over the time. Using the data visualization, businesses user can see seasonal trends and dig deeper into why these trends occurs. The main component to look out for in the time series analysis are stationarity, autocorrelation, and seasonality. The next question is, discuss the main principle of data ethics as well as what companies or organization could do to uphold these principles. The main principle of data ethics revolves around the responsible and ethical use of the data. That includes, number 1, transparency. Organizations should be transparent about how they use, collect, and share the data. This involves clear communication with the individual about the data practices. Number 2 is consent. Data should only be collected with informed and explicit consent from individuals. They should have the choice to opt in or out of data collection. The third is privacy. Uh, Protecting the individual privacy by safeguarding their personal data. Data should be anonymized or pseudonymized when possible. The fourth is fairness. Avoid bias in data collection and algorithm. Ensure that the data-driven decision do not discriminate against any group or individual. Accountability. The fifth, accountability. Organizations should take responsibility for their data practices. Uh, they should have mechanism in place to address data breaches or misuse. The sixth is data security. Implement robust security measurement to protect data from unauthorized access or breaches. The next question is, imagine you are an analyst at financial service company and you have some concern about the bias in the way a predictive model was measured. How would you raise your concern with your manager? Make some suggestions for how to avoid measurement bias in the future. To raise my concern about the bias in predictive models measurement with my manager, I will try to speak with manager or check out my company's guidebook to find out how to report ethical concern anonymously. And the second approach would be I will request a meeting with my manager to discuss my concern in person. I will provide clear example of where bias may exist in the model's measurement and its potential impact. I will offer some solution to address bias, such as using more uh, uh, um, diverse training data or modifying the model evaluation metrics to avoid measurement bias in the future. I will suggest to conduct regular audit of model output to identify and rectify bias. Encourage diverse team in model development to minimize bias blind spot. Document model development process and decisions to increase transparency. The last question is explain the difference between regression and classification model in predictive analysis. When would you use one of these models over the other? Regression and classification are two distinct type of predictive modeling in the data analysis. Regression use to predict a continuous numeric value such as stock prices, temperatures, or sales revenue. The model's output is a numerical value or a range. Regression is appropriate when the target variable is quantitative and you want to estimate or forecast a specific numeric value. The classification used to categorize data into predefined classes or label. This model assign data points to discrete categories or classes. Classification is suitable when the target variable is categorical, such as spam emails, diseases diagnosis, and yes or no, or sentiment analysis, positive, negative, neutral. Um, when to use one over the other depends on the nature of the problem and the type of the data we have. We can use the regression when we need to predict a numerical value or quantify the relationship between variable like uh, like predicting stock price or estimate the impact of factors on sales. We can use classification when we need to classify data into categories or make decision based on discrete outcomes, like identifying the fraudulent in transaction or classifying images into different objects. The choice between regression and classification is determined by the specific objective and characteristics of the predictive analysis problem. Thank you very much.